Today we are going to be diving into the issue of angels and why they are in fact so terrifying and not the cute little winged creatures we have always set them out to be. So the next time someone tells you to dream about angels, you might be better off dreaming about demons. So, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of an angel? Perhaps glowing figures with halos and wings, calm, peaceful, comforting. But the angels described in ancient stories can be the exact opposite of that. They can bring hope, sure, but they also bring fear. They are not gentle. They're messengers, they're protectors, but most of all, they are warriors who carry out God's will, even when it's devastating. In religion, angels connect heaven and humans. They deliver messages that change history, like when Gabriel told Mary that she was the chosen woman to bring Jesus, or give warnings, like the angel who told Noah about the flood so that he could build his ark, save his family, and restart civilization. Not all angels are created equal. They have several ranks with many different jobs. Some are messengers, while others bring punishment to those who deserve to be punished, acting as God's right hand in delivering judgment. Their descriptions in ancient texts are the farthest away from cute as you can get. And to illustrate the point, let's dive into some of them right now, and I'll lay them out from lowest rank to highest rank. First off, we have the Ophanim. The Ophanim are often linked to God's chariot or throne. They are described as the wheels within wheels in Ezekiel 1:15 to 1:21, and their primary role is to facilitate God's movement and carry his throne. Their physical appearance is completely mind-boggling. They are completely covered in eyes, left, center, and right. That is a shape that, as humans, we can't even begin to understand fully, completely outside of any form that we can relate to. Then we have the Cherubim. These are actually the cute little baby angels you see everywhere. Their true form is nothing like this. They have 4 faces: a human, a lion, an ox, and an eagle, and their body is covered with wings and hands. Their main task is to stand as guards to the Garden of Eden, stopping anyone from entering. And let's be real, if you see them with their blazing swords, their imposing wings, and many faces, you're turning back quicker than you can say hallelujah. The highest ranking are the Seraphim, the burning ones as they're called. They're beings of fire with 6 wings, 2 covering their faces, 2 their feet, and 2 for flying. It is said that they are so holy, they hide themselves even, well, from themselves. They fly around shaking the heavens with their songs and praises about the Lord Almighty. If by now you haven't realized that these angels aren't here to make you feel safe or happy, I don't know what's going to do it for you. These angels exist to serve their purpose, whether it's protecting the holy or bringing destruction. They're not cute, beautiful entities. They're beings of fire, wings, and eyes, and were created as such to inspire fear and respect, not comfort. We have some accounts of angels exercising their divine right to deal death and punishment. Case in point, the killing of 185,000 soldiers from the Assyrian army. These soldiers were ready to conquer Jerusalem. Before they could do this, however, in one night, an angel wiped them out. No warning, not even a battle, just swift death to the soldiers by morning. The city was saved and the army's leader fled in defeat. Another famous example is the angel of death. The firstborn of every family in Egypt died unless their door was marked with the lamb's blood. This sounds barbaric, but it actually wasn't random destruction. It was a deliberate act, designed to spare only those who followed God's instructions. These stories show how angels are God's instruments of power and justice, and not the kind benevolent guardians we usually imagine them being. If you're still not convinced, there are angels of death that extend beyond Christianity to other religions like Islam. Such is the case of the angel Azrael. Azrael doesn't destroy cities or armies. Instead, he comes for individuals when their time is up. He's essentially the Grim Reaper. Nothing personal. He's just the messenger when it's your time to go. When you hear about Azrael, the angel of death, there are mixed emotions. For some people, Azrael appears kind and gentle, like a guide helping their soul move on peacefully. But for others, especially those who've done bad things, he's bad news. You don't greet him with open arms if you've been a bad person. For both good and bad, he's the last thing they see before their soul is taken away. The same concept of the angel of death extends to other religions as well. In Jewish stories, the angel of death is named Samael. Unlike Azrael, he's not just a soul collector. He's a being that delivers punishment. His name, which means venom of God, goes to show just how dangerous he is. And you can even argue that he's not fair about his business. Samael tempts people to make bad choices, and then he's the one who punished them for it.
Are you a police officer?
No, I am not a police officer.
Okay then, 175 for a team.
Albuquerque police, you're under arrest. Get on the ground.
Samael is often described as a shadowy figure stuck between heaven and hell, never fully belonging to either. Some stories even say that he's a fallen angel, still doing what he's told, but in a way that feels dark and ill-intentioned. When Samael shows up, it's not just to take a life. It's to make sure people pay for the choices that they make, and he gloats over that fact. If angels of death weren't bad enough, there are also angels that are set to appear during the apocalypse. When the 7 trumpets are heard, each one will bring with it a fresh disaster for humanity. When the first trumpet sounds, hail and fire rain down, destroying plants and trees. The second trumpet throws a huge burning mountain into the sea, turning part of the water into blood and killing fish and sinking ships. The third trumpet poisons rivers, making the water undrinkable, while the fourth makes the sun, moon, and the stars go dim, leaving the world in partial darkness. The fifth trumpet opens up the abyss, releasing strange grasshoppers with human faces, golden crowns, and tails like scorpions. These creatures don't kill people, but their stings cause so much pain that people beg to die, only they can't. Then comes the sixth trumpet, which unleashes 4 powerful angels and their massive army of 200 million riders. This army completely wipes out 1/3 of the planet's population. The seventh and final trumpet announces the end of the world as we know it. A voice declares that the earth now belongs to God forever, and nothing will ever be the same again. This time is also the ultimate defeat of the most famous, or rather infamous, angel of all time. His name? Lucifer. Lucifer, also called the morning star, the devil, Satan, among other names, was once the most beautiful and powerful angel. But his pride made him vain, and he dared to challenge God, believing himself above him. For that, he was cast out of heaven. He lost his light and fell, becoming Satan as we know him today. He went from being the closest to God to becoming the ruler of hell. Lucifer is not the only fallen angel, however. There were also angels called the Watchers who were supposed to protect and watch over humanity. Instead of doing this, they took a liking to human women, and so they rebelled. They came to Earth, married human women, and fathered a race of twisted giants called the Nephilim. These giants caused mayhem everywhere they went, so much that God decided that a reset was in order, and with that came the flood. And I do have dedicated videos to these topics. I'll be linking them in the description below. One of the angels by the name Azazel taught humans how to make war, turning small fights into huge battles. He also revealed the arts of vanity and seduction, making people greedy and obsessed with themselves. His actions corrupted humanity, leading it toward destruction. For these crimes, Azazel was exiled to a barren wilderness, chained up until the end of time, similar to Prometheus in Greek mythology, who was chained to a rock for delivering fire to humans. Even after their fall, the power of these angels didn't disappear. It just became darker. Nothing is ever as holy that cannot be tainted by evil, and the Watchers serve as the perfect example of that. But with all this being said, not all angels are bad. Some are legitimately defenders of order and harmony. This does not mean that they're harmless little babies, but their core nature is not chaos and punishment. An example of this is the Archangel Michael, who leads the heavenly army in a massive battle against Lucifer and his followers during Revelations in the final clash between good and evil. He's also the one who casts Lucifer down from heaven. We already mentioned the Cherubim, the guardians of Eden's gates. These angels are not meant to be punishers and don't have a specific agenda to cause harm or destruction. Their task is simple: prevent humanity from re-entering the Garden of Eden. Crossing them would not be taken lightly, and they would be sure to strike if provoked, but this doesn't mean their nature is evil. It just shows that their boundaries are firm. But angels aren't just part of Christian stories. Zoroastrianism was a religion that originated in ancient Persia or modern-day Iran around 3,500 years ago. It revolved around a god called Ahura Mazda, also referred to as the Lord of Light. In this religion, Ahura Mazda is opposed by an evil spirit called Angramanyu, and the two are in an eternal battle of good versus evil. Zoroastrianism also has angels called the Yasada, who fight against chaos. They serve Ahura Mazda and are tasked with ensuring that the universe remains in balance. So, no matter the tradition or the religion, these angels have one thing in common. They are fully committed to their tasks, whether that means delivering punishment or protection, and they don't necessarily go about it in a gentle way. At their core, angels aren't really good or evil. They serve their purpose. They do what's necessary because it's their duty. So, sure, there are a few exceptions here and there, but that seems to be the norm. So why are angels so terrifying? I suppose we can answer that question in the following way. They speak deeply to our own human nature and the constant battle that we have within ourselves. We are subject to temptation, just like the Watchers were, and we're forced to face the consequences of our choices. And just like Azrael, our time will come, and there's not going to be any negotiation about it. The only choice we have to make is whether we will embrace death with open arms or be terrified of the hell that awaits. Thank you so much for joining me for today's tale. If you enjoyed the video, you might also like this video about how our Greek god became the Christian devil. Also subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the video, and share it with someone else if you're feeling extra generous. It's a small button for you and a gigantic leap for my channel. Until the next tale, farewell, and may the gods smile upon you.